my god guys, this is totally unexpected, but we are getting more than 30 FPS in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu on a Mali GPU Android device. Yo, what's up guys, it's ApTreX here. In today's video, we'll be testing out the official Citron Emulator Android on a low-end Mali GPU Android device. To get started for today's video, I'll be using my Mali G16 GPU MediaTek processor Android device with only 6GB of RAM, out of which only 1.5GB RAM is available. This is going to be a super interesting testing video because the Citron Emulator Android actually supports custom Mali GPU drivers as well. To start off, we'll be applying the best settings. So let's go to the advanced settings of Citron Emulator Android. Go to system settings, afterwards limit speed percentage, set it to 400, afterwards go back. In terms of graphics, accuracy level set it to 0.5x as we'll be running these games on a low-end Android device. In terms of VSync mode, make sure to turn it off, afterwards scroll down. Aspect ratio stretch to window, enable force maximum clocks and asynchronous shader, even though it is only for Adreno GPU Android devices. Anyways, in terms of debug settings, we don't really see anything special here, and recently Citron Emulator has been getting lot of hate for some reason, and that's why I believe currently this project is private. Nonetheless, we'll just go ahead and go to GPU driver manager, and here you guys will be able to see we have the system GPU driver, and we also get the ability to add our own custom graphics driver. So I have actually imported few of the drivers. You will be able to see Dimensity 8100 Ultra, ARM Mali G68 MP4, Phoenix driver, Revision 1 for Mali GPU Android devices. I'll be testing out two of these graphics driver. The system graphics driver, which is by default is of my Mali G16 GPU. So let's go with the Dimensity 8100 Ultra graphics driver. With that being said, let's start testing out some games right away. The first game that we'll be trying out is going to be Sonic Mania. Let's tap on the A button to start this game. At the top left corner, you'll also be able to see an FPS bar which shows you how well is our game actually running. So here we go. Immediately the game has successfully started. This device has a MediaTek Dimensity 8000 processor or 8100 even I forgot it. So it is supposed to be pretty powerful, and that's why we are seeing about 110 FPS while emulating this game on our Android devices. This is the true capabilities of Mali GPU Android devices. People sleep on MediaTek processors quite a lot because of their incompatibility with emulation, but other than that, in terms of normal apps and games, they are really amazing and they do provide you with flagship level performance. Sonic Mania was definitely a beginner game. To see if we can run this emulator with custom graphics driver, let's open One Piece Unlimited World Red, which is a high graphic 3D game. Let's see if this works or not with the graphics driver. So nope. As you guys just saw, the emulator has crashed, but this crashing issue does occur multiple times as we are using the Antutu benchmark build of Citron Emulator Android, and it reportedly has some crashing issues, but unfortunately the game is not starting. So let's go back to our system graphics driver and see if this game works then or not. In my opinion, it should work, but for some reason there might be incompatibility. So yeah, One Piece Unlimited World Red Deluxe Edition did not boot. Now let's try Phoenix driver version 24.1.0 revision 1 for Mali and see if it improves the performance or not. So let's go with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and immediately we saw a crashing issue, which means that the graphics driver might not be supported. So we'll go back to the Dimensity 8100 Ultra graphics driver and restart our game to see if it works this time or not. And there we go, no crashing issue this time, and here the game has even successfully started. So we'll go to settings, afterwards we'll go to controls, player 1, make sure to connect our controller and set it to handheld. Afterwards go back, and now we'll be able to proceed through this game. So Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, I have tried this game out many times in this emulator, and I have a good idea of how much FPS do you get in other emulators like Newshoe, Xiang's, or even the Sudachi emulator. But let's find out how much FPS do we actually get in the Citron Emulator Android. So let's begin by choosing our language and then tapping on the begin game option. Immediately I am not seeing any graphical issues. That is a great thing, because lot of the time on unsupported Mali GPU Android devices, you generally see many graphical issues while emulating games. If you have tried out games on Skyline Emulator or Ryujinx, you would know about it. So here we go guys, our own journey is about to begin. Let's find out how well does Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu work in the Citron Emulator Android. Immediately you guys will be able to see at the top left corner, we are still getting more than 50 FPS while emulating this Pokemon game on our Android devices. So it is definitely going to be an interesting test. Well, this is obviously in-house, so we can expect good FPS, and it is only consuming about 850 MB of RAM. So I think it's well optimized for low-end devices with even 4 to 6 GB of RAM. So let's exit the house and see how well does this game work in outside world areas. And oh my god, what is this guys? What is this? I can't believe my own eyes. I am getting almost 20 plus FPS while emulating oh my god, 30 plus FPS while emulating this game on a Mali GPU Android devices. Unbelievable performance, guys. I have never seen even close to this amount of performance in any other Nintendo Switch emulators for Android. This is something that I did not expect. I thought I would get like 5 to 10 FPS and I would be like, yeah, just 5 to 10 FPS, sure, why not? But more than 20 FPS was completely unexpected, and when all the shaders are compiled, your FPS goes up bit by bit. That is pretty impressive. So obviously, if you use the newest version of Citron Emulator on a Mali GPU Android device, you can expect good performance. But here we go, there is a small slowdown during this cutscene, and I believe that is because of the shader compilation. But once that is done, our FPS is now back up to 12 to 14, 15, 16. Okay, so it all depends upon the shader compilation, but in open world areas, I did not expect this emulator to give me more than 30 FPS. That was quite shocking, to be honest. So Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu definitely works pretty well in the Citron Emulator on Mali GPU Android devices. Now let's move forward to try out our next game, which is going to be Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles. Let's see if this game works or not. If this game works, then you can expect other similar games to work as well. For example, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Naruto Shippuden, and so on. This is surprising, guys. The game has actually booted. Once again, I did not expect this game to boot. But who knows, One Piece Unlimited World Red Deluxe Edition did not work. How come Demon Slayer has successfully booted? Only God knows. Well, there we go, guys. My assumptions were correct. The emulator just crashed, which means this game might not work. Let me restart to see if it works or not. So unfortunately, no, guys. Citron Emulator has crashed once again, and I believe this might be because of insufficient RAM, because obviously 1.5 GB of RAM isn't going to do much. That's why the game keeps on crashing. The game booted, which means if it had more RAM, then the game would definitely run. Same goes with Pokemon Sword as far as I know. But let's try out our final game, which is going to be Pokemon Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl. And this game generally takes a good amount of time for loading. It will show you 0 FPS, but believe me, guys, it will actually start. So here we go. As you will be able to see at the top left corner, the FPS has gone up to 100. And no, guys, unfortunately it looks like Pokemon Brilliant Diamond does not work on a Mali GPU Android device, at least inside of the Citron Emulator. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below which games will you be testing. And here's the proof right here. The emulator froze, which means the game is unsupported on our Android device. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.